Hey YouTube, here again, dude. Or hey, out there on internet land, because I'm on multiple platforms. Here to talk about things going on in the world around us, and yeah, I'm not really gonna hold back much. I'm gonna be careful with my language to make sure this video doesn't get taken down too. But full disclosure, the a video on my podcast was taken down because we talked about things in the arm. We're testing the waters to see how much we can get away with. So obviously, we couldn't get away with what we thought we did. But that's not going to stop me from talking about the things in the arm. This is super important. I think everyone needs to just understand. Again, no long-term testing has been done, and meaning sure, the short-term tests have been done, but we don't know what will be happening to people in a year or even at 6 months from now. And this thing in the arm is still not approved by the FDA. It is still only approved for emergency use authorization, and both Moderna and Pfizer are the first time we've ever used an mRNA style thing in the arm. So it took emergency use authorization to do it, and they got millions and millions of people to do it. But I'm not going to take the thing in the arm. I'm not opposed to things in the arm. In fact, I've had to travel the world, multiple countries. I've been to 5 different continents, and I can tell you that I've had plenty of things in the arm, but I don't trust things in the arm that haven't had long-term testing and are a brand new thing to the market. So let's just unpack really what I'm really concerned about. As I mentioned in the now banned video on YouTube, there's a little bit of a bait and switch happening between masks and things in the arm in terms of social pressure and in terms of what PSAs are telling people in order to get rid of this thing that's happening, that's affecting the whole world right now. We have to get the things in the arm. And sure, I can understand people who are elderly or people who are immunely compromised, but what I fear is happening down the line is eventually what could happen is they could say that in order for your kid to go to school, your 10-year-old, elementary school, they'll need this thing in the arm for the current thing that's affecting the world. And of course that hasn't happened yet, but things are happening quickly that are starting to show that those sort of things are happening right around the corner. Something that has been popping up among random universities is they'll require the thing in the arm before a student is allowed to attend campus. And I've, of course, been mentioning that. People are like, it won't be national. Well, here it is, statewide, all public UCs, that's University of California, and CSU, Cal State universities, to require COVID things in the arm for students and faculty returning to campuses next fall. So in order for your, if you're college aged, in order for you to go back and get your education in person, you got to get the thing in the arm. So, what we were all fearing would happen if you want to travel on a plane, eventually go to a different country, for sure that eventually that's going to happen. If you want to see a rock concert, those things that are usually considered to be just nice little cherries on the top of the dessert of life, nice little bonuses and fun things to do, things you don't really need. People weren't really worried about that, but now that that this thing in the arm has taken over the United States, now it's an entire state, in fact, the most populous state by far in the nation. Nearly 40 million people live in the state of California. So all these people, including people traveling from out of state to get an education in the state of California, will now be forced to get the thing in the arm. So no, I'm done. I am done, and we have to stop it now in terms of the requirements of this before it turns into our kids. And if you don't think they'll do this thing in the arm for our kids, think about what they're doing with the masks. Masks, they have a 99.9 survival rate for. Kids, they have a 99.9 survival rate for COVID, and in fact, that kids hardly ever get it. So why are the kids being required to sit 10 feet apart with a big plexiglass thing around them, wearing a mask all day, and they can't go and play with their friends during recess? I just want to share this video too because this is relevant. There was a mom in Georgia who shared her opinion on the matter, and she looks rather young, and she has a 6-year-old, so here's what she had to say.
Every month I come here and I hear the same thing: social emotional health. If you truly mean that, you would end the mask requirement tonight. Tonight. This is not March 2020 anymore. We have 3 vaccines. Every adult in the state of Georgia that wants that vaccine is eligible to get it right now, and every one of us knows that young children are not affected by this virus. They're not, and that's a blessing. But as the adults, what have we done with that blessing? We've shoved it to the side and we've said, we don't care. You're still gonna wear a mask on your face every day, 5 and 6-year-olds. You still can't play together on the playground like normal children, 7 and 8-year-olds. We don't care. We're still going to force you to carry a burden that was never yours to carry. Shame on us. My 6-year-old looks at me every month before I come here and she says, are you going to tell them tonight? Tell them I don't want to wear this anymore. And I say, baby, it's not time to fight that battle yet. I try to explain that there's so many things, but it's April 15th, 2021, and it's time. Take these masks off of my child. And I know what I'm going to be met with. But Ms. Taylor, the CDC, we did not vote for people at the CDC. We did elect leaders who do create policy. We elected the 5 of you. We chose you to make difficult decisions for our children. We chose you to make decisions that would be in our children's best interest, and forcing 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9-year-old little children to cover their noses and their mouths where they breathe for 7 hours a day, every day for the last 9 months for a virus that you know doesn't affect them. That is not in their best interest, and this has to stop. Defend our children. My 6-year-old can't come up here and say this. It has to stop. Take these off of our children.
Yeah, of course, people are applauding. They're not even supposed to applaud, but good for them. Good for her for speaking up. Everyone needs to hear what she has to say because, it's really not good for kids to be wearing a mask for 7 hours. It's healthier for an adult to do it, but kids definitely not. And we've seen mental health plummet for children. We as a society need to do what it takes to protect them. If you're 50 and want to get the thing in the arm, go for it. But don't make your 5-year-old get it. Don't make your 10-year-old get it. Don't make your 15-year-old get it. That's around the corner. We don't want any of that to happen. I'm going to share a link in the description below, but I just want to share a little bit of this because this is important to talk about. So, found this article, and it's 18 reasons why I won't be getting this thing in the arm for what's happening globally right now. Okay, number 1. The makers of the things in the arm are immune from liability. And that brings me right to this meme. Biden says, "Gun makers are the only industry you can't sue if their product hurts you or a loved one in a shooting." And then vaccine manufacturers. It's one of my favorite memes. And it's true, they aren't culpable. If you have an adverse reaction, there is no amount of financial aid that will be given to you to help you with your medical expenses. If you pass because of that, insurance, I don't know what they'll do about it, but the things in the armed companies aren't going to be doing anything about supporting you if you've lost your lives, or your loved one or your family has lost you to the thing in the arm. So yeah, I'll leave that in the description below so you can read the other 17 other reasons why. And yeah, I'm just fed up with the social media platforms banning people for talking about this very important subject, so I'm just going to go ahead and push the boundaries on this channel too. If I get a strike and I disappear for a few weeks on this, I come back, and it's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep posting videos on the other platforms, which will be in the description below. Anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one.